Can just get a few more troops at some of these local towns and restock our forces here. A couple of battles at Marunath city, but nothing of what I would consider worthy of our Epic Siege series. Again, the Epic Siege series is a series inspired by very difficult cities or situations where there's a fascinating amount of actual tactics that can be put into play in a castle defense or city defense. And the Siege of Marunath is something that I've been attempting to pull off for about an hour now. I've been essentially beating back forces that are sieging Marunath, and none of them have exceeded like 1,200 troops. So to fix that, we've dumped a lot more troops in the garrison, and what I'm hoping is that'll spur a much larger attack, something that'll be worthy of this Epic Siege series. It actually says the settlement is rebelling. That's disconcerting. There's 288 militia in there, but then when I look at the defenders, it doesn't show any militia. So the loyalty's okay. I'm gonna head to the city and see if I can't fix that. And again, I'm just narrating these live, just kind of wandering the map, looking for Epic Siege. This potential siege defense will be by essentially request, and that'll do. Almost 2,800 Sturgian. Even though we're gonna have almost 1,000 defenders here, I think this is a genuine opportunity for an epic siege. There could be more Sturgians. You'd never know. There could be more coming to those armies. So with all that said, welcome back again to another episode of Tactical Enlightenment, friends. This YouTube channel is dedicated to all things Bannerlord related, but especially advanced field command and huge fucking battles. And that's exactly what we have here. 3 huge Sturgian forces coming now. So we're going to load up on troops here. This does look like every bit of epic siege here at Marunath. This Batanian city. The layout is not terrific to defend, as you'll soon see. I've 4 armies. This is 4. I think they're all coming here. They sure as fuck are coming here. This is 4 major Sturgian armies. I've never seen this before in all my time playing Bannerlord. This is going to be awesome. This is 5. This is going to be, I think, over 5,000 troops. So we'll build some counter siege here. Marunath, I think the wall levels right now are level 2, so that's not going to help us here. But look at our defenders. We have 1,300 defenders. The militia is indeed intact here. 20, so it's going to be up against 5,200 Sturgians here. Yeah, this qualifies as epic siege. Never mind, 6,800. They poured in here. Finally, I've been seeking a siege defense here with Marunath. And of course, in my war against all Calradia, it was sort of inevitable that a huge force was going to arrive. So our forces are kind of a mix of medium, a few low-level troops, and then an elite army. But we're going to have this force of militia to at least give us some shot here. I'm glad we have the militia because 6,800 is just insane. That definitely qualifies as one of the largest siege attempts I've ever had. And as you'll see, I don't actually like the defensive layout for Marunath Castle. I haven't actually started grading castles, but if I was, I would give Marunath like a D+. This is a very poorly designed castle. They must have drank too much ale and mead the day. We won't do reduced player damage. I've thought about it before in huge battles like this, but they definitely drank too much mead, too much ale when they were building this city. It's not very well set up for defense. So this was by request, and I'm going to give it my very best shot here against an absurdly large Sturgian force. For some reason or other, my 3rd Corps lost all its troops, so we'll reassemble them. And we'll take a look at the land here. I apologize that this is at night. It looks like there's enough light for me to see, but if you have a hard time seeing, let me know in the comments. I like battles that happen in daylight for instructional purposes, and that's half the value of this. But a lot of the guys I understand are watching this epic siege series for the entertainment side, right? You guys want to watch carnage and chaos and tactics and fucking beheadings and people, sieging the walls and going crazy and stuff like that. So there's a lot of reasons people watch, but if you have a hard time seeing these in the dark, let me know, and I'll try to film more of these in the light. I got the 2nd Corps here. I've got 3 infantry divisions. I like to use all 8 in castle defense, and I apologize if the person who requested this is only using 4 or 5 divisions. Admittedly, it's much harder to defend a castle with 4 or 5 divisions. You have to think of it this way. The enemy's going to be coming in on potentially 3 sides. In fact, I don't see siege towers here, so they will be coming in on 3 sides. Both siege ladders, which you cannot destroy. and then the ram, of course. So I'm going to start to spread out units here to cover the different access points. I think I can get archers way up here. I've had a couple siege defenses already, so this is not my first whack at a defense of Marunath. If you think that's you know, not fair, well, so be it. I've been trying to get a larger siege, and this is, I think, the third or fourth defense of Marunath, but certainly it's the first one against 60-something hundred troops. This is an awesome potential siege here. All right, so the first corps, as usual, I'm going to guard the gate with that. We will have archers behind them. I think these guys will be able to shoot over the head of the 1st Division into the gatehouse to help support that. Of course, the 1st Division will be squaring a lot for defense, for support. For the support to kill those attacking the square. These guys might be vulnerable, this 7th Corps up here, and in fact there's infantry mixed in, so let's make this strictly an archer division. If anybody wonders why I'm taking like 2 minutes here, 3 minutes before the siege, I always try to do this now. In important sieges, I've got this 3rd Corps here, they're going to defend this left side. I want to take, you know, a couple minutes to set up my troops. In fact, I want these guys kind of spread out. It looks like the enemy has 2 accesses over here from these ladders. I can't actually see. Here's the ladders. So they're going to come up these ladders onto these ramparts here, and it looks like they either come around or through the tower. So I want these guys spread out. That way they can attack the enemy as they come up that direction, and they have an archer division behind them. Perfect. So if I take, you know, a few seconds here to develop my defenses, what I would suggest for important sieges is that you do this as well. Right, a lot of these units are sort of fire and forget. My archers especially, I'm not going to move a ton in battle, or at least not in the initial phases. Although I do micromanage my troops more than most people. So the 8th Corps can go here and support the right flank. The 2nd Infantry Division is over there, but I don't know where the ladders are. I can't see them in the dark, so I'm going to have to do a little investigating here. As I run around my horse here, we will get a better layout of the land. So the 1st defending the gate. And then the 2nd over here, it's just a question of where we're going to put them. Then I like to do this little familiarization. I like to essentially light up the units so that I know who's where, right? I got the 4th Division over here. This should be the 5th Division. That's the 1st. This should be the 6th. Right, so this way I can kind of remember where my units are. It's very difficult. We've talked about span of control before on the channel. This is basically the brain's capacity to remember shit is limited. So these guys are getting pounded up here. I don't like it. So I'm actually going to pull them down a little bit. In siege situations, what I've learned is that when you're badly outnumbered like this, you have virtually no chance of an arrow battle with the enemy, right? You can't just sit up on the walls and pound them with arrows, even though in real life that would work. In Bannerlord, they just don't take enough cover. And unfortunately, because of that, we have to fight sieges a little bit differently than they would be fought in real life. You would never yield the walls like we're going to in this battle. Now, we're not just giving them the walls free. There's archers pounding them, there's skirmishers pounding them, and we will attack them with infantry occasionally. But ordinarily, the game is designed to have guys up here on the ladder, like to kill that fucking flag bearer. It's designed to have guys up here on the ladder, pushing the ladders off, fighting the guys as they get off the ladder. But because the enemy has so many archers here, and of course they have lots of Battanian Fiend champs, I can see those fucks. In fact, they're shooting me in the head. Because of that, you just can't put guys reliably on the wall here. Oops, I threw it right into the fucking rampart here. Where's my... Give me this shit. Recollect my javelin here. So what I've learned in sieges where you're badly outnumbered, abandon the walls is basically your best strategy. Use the fact that your archers can sit safely behind these walls to your advantage. As the enemy comes up on the walls, you'll be able to fire at them. Their archers won't be able to touch your guys, right? Because of course they can't. They don't shoot volleys in Bannerlord that goes straight up in the air and down on the other side. There's no way for them to hit your guys unless they get up on these walls. And of course, if they do that, they're going to get smoked. Alright, so we'll try a few bad catapult shots here until I get my range dialed in. I'm known for being one of the worst cannonball, one of these catapult using guys in Bannerlord. For someone with 7,000, I didn't misspeak, 7,000 hours at Bannerlord. You would think I would know what I was doing here, but I'm too busy doing tactics and not busy enough honing in my accuracy with these catapults. As you can see, I didn't hit a single fucking guy there. This Battanian Fiend helping me is over here shaking his head. He's like, what am I getting these for, Lord? You can't hit anything. That one should be right in there. right in their midst. There we go, we redeem ourselves. Just when I think you can't do anything stupider, you totally redeem yourself. Alright, we're going to fire a few of these fireballs down here. The ladder guys are charging up. We're used to most of this sequence. Unfortunately, the predictability in sieges are very high. I would love to see a mod where there's greater AI predictability, but this is what we have. So the enemy will just pour in here on these ladders and compact their elite troops in the most killable fashion. This is essentially them saying, please kill us en masse. Now the difficulty I have here is the enemy's already attacking us with troops. I can't even see the enemy because we killed so many guys. But I do have archer support. Kick a few guys here, and I imagine these Battanian fiends that were on the catapult are fighting. I imagine we're going to have other times to get these exploding bombs if it doesn't happen right now. Which I should have said this earlier. Strap yourself in. If you're a fan of Epic Siege, get yourself a tasty beverage. I've got mine right here. If my voice starts to fail, you might hear a little pause. That's me sipping down a little tasty beverage. I prefer a little Zip Fizz or something like that. Grab whatever you'd like, and something crunchy, because if you love Epic Siege, this could be well, it could be an hour-long battle, at least a half an hour long, of just fucking combat, carnage, tactics, and F-bombs. Alright, so these motherfuckers pouring through the gate, as we expected. The 6th Corps is over here. I can bring these guys to me. These guys have javelins. There's archers in there. We'll move these guys back into square. That's the 1st Division. The 6th Division can be told to charge. The enemy split really well here. That's suboptimal for us. It's getting a little messy. I've got the 8th Corps on the other side. That's my elite units. We can bring them in to pinch the enemy here. But this is quite a surge of elite troops by the enemy. I thought they had more guys on the walls than this. And evidently they've got so many troops that they can get tons of guys on the walls and through the front gate. So a little bit of chaos here. But we do have forces we can bring up to try to dike the dam. I'm getting fucking smashed over the head. We got heavy blows in the courtyard. Now, well, I better not talk about it just yet. A huge enemy group just came through, so we're going to put a large block of infantry at the gate here trying to jam this, because it's an absolute fucking flood. Looks like fucking Black Friday, medieval style. They're all pouring in, trying to get $20 off a hovel. These motherfuckers pouring in. But we've got a nice infantry press countering them now, and you can see their forces here are fairly enveloped. So it's bloody, it's a bit messier than I'd like, but we're going to be able to at least stop this initial first wave, I think. I say that because you just never know sometimes in Siege. My Taekwondo needs a little work. I'm kicking the air left and right. But ultimately, that huge siege of the enemy has been contained. Alright, so I'm going to try to reset some divisions. The 8th will pull back. Those are my elite units. The 6th will pull back. And the reason I'm doing that is because these units have javelins. These units have arrows. You can see this gal next to me is firing her crossbow. No reason for them to be up close with the enemy unless we have a situation like that where it's so many enemy pouring through, I feel like they have to fight. The enemy is still pouring through, and of course the enemy, all tier 5 units, right? There hasn't been a single other than a tier 5 or tier 6. It's all elite troops. So this is a tough fucking battle, right? Those archers up there are greatly diminished. The 3rd Corps looks like they're holding that side. If you remember, the 3rd Corps is holding the left wing there. And it's another huge press here through the gate. The good thing is we'll have at least 3 reinforcement waves. I think 3. Usually you get about 200 troops for a reinforcement wave. So with 1,300 troops in this battle, you know, even if we have a breach blown open a couple times, we should have guys coming to our relief, right? More troops. I might get 500 kills in this battle. This is going to be a fucking bloody episode for me. I'm bringing the archers over here. This gate is turning into a bit of a crisis. I can't seem to jam it. I'm going to shove this square a little closer here once we beat back this press of guys. But in a situation like this, that's what I have these other divisions for. These guys are to be brought up as, you know, just like a battlefield commander on the open field battle. You say, I need more guys on my left flank. That's what these guys are for. We're cutting guys in half with our fast axe. The courtyard is already littered with the fucking strewn body parts of the enemy. Corpses are everywhere. It's already chaos, and the battle just started. All right. Over here, let's see what I got. You got the 6th Division and a 2nd Division. This infantry division, I forgot, was guarding this flank. These guys can be set to attack, right? I've got this 2nd Infantry Division. I remembered those bombs are up here, so I really want to get up there and lob some of those exploding bombs on the enemy. I don't know how many are left, if there's 1 or 7, but we want to get to those, right? Each one of those is potentially 10, 15, 20 enemies killed. And because I have this escort division, this 2nd Infantry Division, we can fight our way up there, right? I can't get to them myself. I would get totally overwhelmed. But with 15, 20 guys here, I think we can push our way up. We've got archer support. I can throw my javelin directly into a stair. Here we go. There's several bombs there. So now I just got to get a hold of these bombs, fight my way. I got to push back this press of Sturgians. We're not going to be able to do throw the bombs if there's a huge amount of Sturgians here. But now that we've got some guys here, now it's perfect, right? Now I can go over here, grab these bombs, and cause massive damage to the enemy. So I'm trying to just line these guys up so that they essentially block the ladders, because now the enemy's fucked, right? Look at that's like the whole screen is damaged. It goes to the very top on a 4K monitor. Kaboom! You know, it's 12 guys killed and a bunch of guys injured, and this is just highly productive for this defense, right? Another 8, 9 guys dropped there. And even that, just the 3 or 4 bombs. I think there's one more, but I couldn't see it. I think there are other rocks that I can throw in this episode. The moon is starting to set. I think that means that we'll get a sunrise here. I have the time-lapse mod. I think it's a wonderful mod for situations like this, because just like in real life, when you had a grueling all-night siege, the sun would come up at some point during your siege. That may be a thing that happens in this episode. So these archers are in a shit formation, so you'll see me babysit stuff like this. When these guys are not shooting, they don't have a good angle, they're all bundled up together like that, I will try to essentially spend 20 seconds, even if it's kind of messy and it breaks the immersion a little bit. To win Epic Siege, you got to focus on your units. Look at that. That's perfect. Now these guys all have the COVID 6 feet between them. None of them are going to get smallpox or whatever the fuck equivalent from the medieval era. My javelins are going, I was going to say they're going right through guys for some reason. And now those archers can shoot down. I hear their arrows actually hitting the wood next to the front door. Now to check on this left side and see what's going on.
Loose formation! After me!
Never mind, we're gonna have to bring these divisions down here because the gate seems to be where the enemy wants to go this episode. Some episodes you do get overwhelmed on a flank, right? They just pour over one of those ladders. This episode, it does seem like the enemies, they're coming right through the middle. No foreplay here. These guys want combat immediately, straight to the fucking G-spot. So this is the 3rd Division with me. That's the infantry division that was guarding that left side. And then the 6th skirmishers, right? I got a lot of guys in there that have javelins and whatnot. We can position some units back here. I could take where I got the 6th. I want these guys thrown at range. So look at that. That perfect little configuration for the 6th. The enemy's rallying here. I've noticed they do this. If they have a lot of forces together on the ladder and they're getting their asses kicked, they will rally a huge force and then attack in simultaneous motion with the front gate. It's about the only thing dynamic that the AI does in siege defense, is they do coordinated multi-angle attacks sometimes. Now, they take a beating getting their troops into that position. I think we killed half of their troops trying to get over there. But what they'll do is they'll actually shelter in the towers. It's actually pretty good AI, all things considered. The skirmishers are not perfectly positioned. You can see none of these guys are shooting. And so much about castle defense is just making sure your units have a good angle. Unfortunately, the AI doesn't do a very good job of that. You just kind of have to do it yourself. Once you get better commanding units, or maybe you're already good at commanding units, then you know what I'm talking about. So see, a lot of these guys here, I actually like to pretend I'm them. I'll be like, do I have any line of sight? No, this guy's staring at a hovel. If I was the Jarl of this city, I would have that hovel ripped down immediately. And we'd compensate the guy by giving him, I don't know, a loaf of bread or something. Alright, so things are kind of... Oh, shit. I've fat fingered, moved the 5th Division. We'll get them reset. That's the Archer Division. I don't want them following me. The gates firmly held here, and the enemy, for at least a moment, is quiet. Now I see guys throwing javelins out the door, so there must be some enemy. There's archers. The enemies, their archers are restless because they can't shoot us from so somebody just went flying there. Because they can't attack us from outside, they're starting to get restless. Well, we attack, right? When you see archers and you have your infantry here, you don't want to maintain your square anymore, right? You want these guys in shield wall and charge. In fact, it might be a situation for us to massacre the enemy archers here. All of these infantrymen, this is a great matchup for the enemy archers. We're going to attack these enemy archers, even though they're high level, and I'm going to bring an archer division behind them because I think we can pound those fucks over there with ammo, with archers, before the enemy can recover. Right? We're going to try to cut our way through these archers here. Obviously, I'm going to help. I've got a full health bar, or pretty full health bar here. Of course, I've got infantry trailing me. I've got archers following me as well. And I've got a blazing fast axe that literally says archer killer on it. Look at how fast it's just fucking 100 speed with 330 two-handed skill. It's savage. Alright, so this is unexpected. The enemy has a huge press of archer reinforcements. I'm going to fly up here reckless because I feel responsible. We just killed one of the enemy lords. I'm going to peel in here. We've got a group of infantry. That was a double beheading. That was beautiful. We've got a line of infantry that I'm moving directly towards these archers, and then we're going to get our archers spread out. But this is messy right now. I did not expect the enemy to get archer reinforcements so quickly. But here we are. So we're going to try to recover from this. This is effectively a tactical mistake, but we're going to try to make things right by getting our archers spread out, killing these archers here on our left flank, and then proceeding to immolate the infantry on the other side. The reason I'm extending this instead of retreating into the castle here is once I could kill these archers, or most of these archers, we should be able to mass exterminate their infantry that's trying to get up those ladders over there. They'll have one of two choices, of course, to charge us or to try to get up the ladders. If they charge us, we'll simply go back into the keep. Infantry in a square, and they'll be all handled. If they don't charge us, they're all... I love the fucking sound effects. They're all going to get butchered, right, if they don't charge us. Our archers are just going to lay waste to them. I mean, these are all theoreticals here. So far, it's been kind of a messy sally attempt here. But now that my infantry division's in a shield wall charging their archers, I think we have the best of both worlds. Our archers here, now protected by the shield wall, can pound the enemy from the flank here, and that infantry can charge in on the enemy archers, which is a very good... That's also a good matchup for us. Now, I'm going to mix some alternative tactics into these siege episodes. If I had to win this siege, like for a campaign, all these guys are trying to draw a beat on me, and before they do, they get killed. I would be falling back inside the city well before this, but I do want to show you alternative tactics for a situation like this. It's starting to turn against us, actually. These archers, I think they're taking javelin fire. For some reason, this 5th Corps is really taking a beating. So we're going to have our units start to fall back here. And I would say, overall, that was like a D+ sally attempt. We didn't get nearly the kill ratio that I would have hoped for right there. Still, just gives you a little variation, things you can try on a castle siege. And sometimes, you know, I like to show it when things don't go perfectly right. I probably should have committed this other archer division. I've got a lot of these troops just inside the castle while half our forces are fighting outside. But at the same time, I didn't want to commit everybody and have a huge massacre of our forces here if something bad happened. Still, we have lots of reinforcements, and the night is young, and I mean that literally. I do see daylight starting to creep into the skies here, but I also see a lot of forces inside the castle here. That failed sally attempt does not mean we've lost this castle siege, not by any stretch. Of course, it doesn't mean we've won either. The enemy's still almost all Tier 5 troops. In fact, every single one of these is a Tier 5 unit. So the enemy's far from defeated. They just have a fucking parade of Tier 5 units. It's kind of astonishing. I mean, we must have killed 1,500 troops already, and these are all Tier 5 units. I got some glowing head motherfuckers. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Maybe they got a little too close to Chernobyl. The square is nice and stout though, and we like it when archers charge the square, right? This is a tactical win for us before combat even begins, right? Archers charging our square is a beautiful situation for us. Alright, so I'm down to 5 units here for tactics. It's kind of limiting, but not completely limiting. We're still going to be able to do some flanking. We're still going to be able to do some squares, some bait and switch attempt. That's basically where you bait the enemy with one unit and attack them with another. And I have archers on the wings here so we can get some enfilade fire. The enemy archers have now gotten all the way onto our walls here. So this guy's going to pay the head tax for that, you motherfucker. Whoa, that looked like he fucking Neo'd the Matrix on me. I'm gonna have to fucking slow-mo that later on. That motherfucker literally looked like I swung my axe at him and he did like the Neo from the Matrix. I only saved him for a second though. So this is what I hate about Marunath Castle. I haven't wanted to mention it until we had a little quieter moment. There's not a great position for your main archer body. I've got these guys on the flank here, but these guys leading up to the main keep don't have a good angle on the gate. They're getting off some shots and some arrow shots, but the land is not steep enough and it's too crowded. The Jarl of this city or whoever the fuck, the Botanian engineer, must like his peasants too much because he let them build way too many hovels like right next to the front gate. You would never do that in real life. You would prioritize defense, and frankly those peasants with the hovels would appreciate that because they would not want you sacrificing the odds of you sieging, defensively holding your city in a siege, right? Just so that they could have a hovel here right next to the front gate. Motherfucker killed one of our guys. Alright, so keeping an eye on the enemy here. I have this square purposefully back. At this stage, I want the enemy to come up the middle. I just want to be able to control it. So it is a micromanaging. I'm keeping these 6th Division and I think it's the 3rd Division basically at the ready. Whenever I can attack with them, I will. Alright, these guys here are rallying, so I'm bringing a unit with me. We're going to attack these fucks. I've got archer support. I don't want these guys rallying a huge force because that's actually one of the ways the enemy really bursts a hole in your defenses. Right, is they will rally up 80 or 100 guys over here. They will then charge as you're getting charged at the gate or another location, and things get difficult in a hurry. This is like an abortive attack here. We're basically preemptively attacking them to make sure they don't do that. I've got a division with me so that we can wade into these guys. We're suffering some losses, but with archer support, we're going to get a pretty high KDR here. The enemy's absolutely pouring up this ladder here, though. This I guess we'll call it the right ladder, is being heavily used by the enemy. The enemy's coming up this about as fast as they can. Aye, motherfuckers. And I don't have any... Look at this guy. He's like laying up against the fucking... I don't have any rocks. I spoke too soon. Look at this. This is fucking perfect. I got a big pot now. It'd be better if they were closer to the enemy, but this is gonna work. God damn it, who are these guys? I brought a division. I brought the 1st Division with me accidentally. We'll put these guys back in the courtyard. Fortunately, there's no press of the enemy pouring through. I don't have to worry too much about these guys. Now it's trying to... We're getting UI issues as well. No big surprise. So we'll just have these guys follow me, and now we'll reset these guys manually. Yeah, much better. I want these guys kind of tight to the gate so these archers can pound them. And now back to our rock pile here as we look to pound the enemy more and more with these rocks. Somebody's attacking. I'm swinging my fists at the guy. What the fuck am I moving so slow for? I have 330 athletics, and sometimes this guy carries a rock like he's never lifted something heavy in his life. There we go. This is going to work. It's not as fancy and as destructive as those exploding bombs, but I got a big pile of these rocks here, and the enemy seems to be totally magnetized to this right side here. These ladders here to our right, looking out of the gates, There must be 300 enemies over there. So we're going to fire a few more of these rocks down here. The enemy has no support. I see no archers anywhere. None of these guys are archers, so we will take advantage of that. We're going to have enemy reinforcements at some point, but at least for the moment, we're going to pound these guys with enfilade fire. And while that's happening, I'm going to fire these rocks. What's nice about this is I'll be able to watch over everything from this gatehouse. Even though I crawl through the mud, it seems like going up these steps. This gives me a perfect spot to command, and every 10 or 15 seconds or so we can fire a rock in there and kill some guys. Of course, in a real defense like this, it's very likely there would be a captain or a high-ranking person in charge of the gatehouse before. I've talked about this. This is kind of a little fantasy of mine. It would be amazing to be in charge of like 60 men, 60 competent, good warriors, and defend a gatehouse against the enemy, right? You've got all these access ways you'd block with infantry, and then you'd have 30 or 40 archers and crossbow up here. Okay, the enemy's sending archers here. It would just be a lot of fun to be a commander up here and work with your troops to defend this against the enemy, right? Of course, you'd be pounding the enemy as they approached. Okay, so these are archers. They're sending archers up, but they're not paying us any attention here. We've got our archers here near the gate. They're piling up on this left side, so we're gonna continue to attack here. I'm actually acting just like the gatehouse commander here. I've got a shield wall now on the left. Or excuse me, on our right, facing the enemy. I actually see him throwing javelins and throwing axes at him. I'm doing this because I want them to absorb, hopefully with their shield, any of the javelins and whatnot that are coming to the enemy. And then over here on the other side, what I'd like to do is I'd like to just keep an eye on these archers. They look like they're climbing the ladder over there, but that's just fine with us. Archers climbing onto the ladder. I doubt that they're going to get good line of sight to actually shoot at us. And don't forget, I have 2 other divisions here at the gate. Right, I've got the 6th. I think I have the 6th, and I have the 5th archers up the hill there. So I have our units split out here. You can see their archers are rallying over there. Oh shit, okay, so they're charging. Alright, fellas, let's do this together. I'm going to assist these guys and then get back to my rock chucking. And this is exactly what a gatehouse commander would do, right? He would see a crisis, he would see an attack coming in, and then he'd prepare the defenses. These are actually part of the 5th Corps. I'll just fucking jump off this shit and wade right in on these fucking weakly armored, weak-ass archers. These guys have no chance versus my axe. We're going to inspire the men with some savage axe work here, cut through half the enemy ourselves, and then we're going to get right back to the gatehouse. Some episodes, I swear my axe swings faster and I move faster. I don't know how to explain that. We do sometimes have a different banner that makes us move faster. I think we do have a movement banner in this episode. Pull our guys back here. I heard a bunch of shouting and screaming out there. I wanted to make sure they weren't getting mauled. It doesn't look like it. It looks like maybe a handful of troops are attacking them here, so we may go right back out there if there's no threat. The enemy had a huge amount of archers early on in this battle, and now they don't. Sturgians, of course, are pretty famous for having very infantry-heavy armies, and that seems to be the case here. What's this guy doing? He's just standing here looking at me. Swing your axe, you fucking pussy. Well, alright, you die then. Yeah, the enemy has a bunch of infantry and no archers, so we're going to continue on with this little strategy. This is a weakness of the AI, I guess you would say, although they'd be fucked if they were a human opponent first. Now look at this. The sun is starting to rise. I can see the sun on the edge of the mountains there. This would be, you'd be fucked as a human player too, because unless you could split your divisions, so shit. The enemy had more guys up, more archers up top. We'll handle these guys here, but I think we're going to go right back out and handle these infantry with our archers again. We'll bring infantry out of the way, fellas. These guys are fucking clogging it up. Oh, this isn't very much. This is like 20 archers, so I don't need to worry about these guys at the gatehouse. And that looks like it. Now we can open fire out there. The 5th Division is still guarding the gate. The 6th Division is present. And these archers are going to do major damage. Look at, they're just pounding the enemy here. So the enemy, realistically, if you're a human opponent, you'd like to have 2 or 3 divisions on one of those ladders. And you could charge in a shield wall, but then all we would do is simply pull back into the gatehouse, right? We could do this all day. You can see they're racking up kills. Battanian hero, militia, veteran archer. It's not a good sign, you know, that we're getting kills with militia, veteran archer. But that also means that we're killing the enemy. Bottom line, I don't see any red death spam. In a situation like this, no reason to change what we're doing, right? We got to watch for reinforcements. We'll probably pull back or adjust our strategy. But right now, we've got a beautiful death zone set up. If the enemy comes up the other side of the ladder over there, they get pounded. Don't see reinforcements yet. If they come up this side and charge us, we'll simply move back through the gatehouse. The lack of enemy archers here is a real weakness. Now, they have archers over here, this 58 guys. But not only do we have... Those are all infantry. Not only do we have infantry to counter them, but 58 archers is not gonna... They can't challenge our 80 archers. I mean, they just have no chance. So, it's a bit of a rock, paper, scissors situation. Sturgia here has got a weakness in this siege situation. Even though they do have an incredible amount of troops. I mean, over there, it looked like the day after the pandemic was announced. People around the toilet paper. Everybody trying to fucking panic buy toilet paper for some reason. My panic buying, I got like 20 pounds of meat, a bunch of rice and beans. And I'm not worried about toilet paper. The guy's buying toilet paper. That was a really strange phenomenon to me. Nobody ever died because they ran out of toilet paper. Alright, archers still racking up kills. The enemy's getting a few kills here and there as their infantry is sort of wading towards our archers, probably assessing it as a more and more of a threat. The enemy's rallying archers up there again, but they're not shooting. They don't have an angle to shoot on us. They can't shoot at the guys, of course, inside the citadel. I think that's them charging again. I hear these dipshits. Well, we'll happily cut you guys down again. I've got the 6th Corps here. Got archer support. And this, whatever, 30 or 40 guys have no chance. Come on in, boys. I'm moving back purposefully so that I can get our archer support line of sight, right? If our archers can't see us, they're not going to be able to help. But honestly, with this 6th Corps, these elite troops, Fian champs and companions, I don't think we need a lot of help here. This is going to be these guys charging with their... That's, by the way, that's one of my absolute favorite things in Bannerlord, is the way they tie audio to the players and to the units. It's beautifully done. You can have a guy charging you, you know, he's, die, you bastard, and then he can take a javelin to the throat or whatever, and die, you bastard. It's fucking brilliant stuff. Right, exactly what it would sound like in real life. All right, everybody charge! You know, just halfway through a fucking war cry, and they take a javelin right to the fucking abdomen. It's probably exactly what it would sound like in real life. All right, archers smoking everything in sight. I've decided to bring the 6th Corps out here as well, just because this is such a good situation, and the enemy seems intent on attacking us in small waves. They're not attacking us with all their infantry, but it's enough that I don't want our archers here exposed. So I'm trying to bring these 6th Corps on the flank. Our infantry's doing good work. Our archers are racking up kills. And I'm going to help these guys here. No reason to change the strategy here until the enemy changes their strategy, right? We're waxing their fucking elite troops still. This really is incredible. It's still all tier 5 units. Imperial Cataphract, right? Fucking Varag Veteran. I think those are tier 4 maybe, but the amount of elite troops the enemy has in this battle is amazing. Yeah, we have ourselves a death factory here. Infantry holding in lines. Now we just have to watch for reinforcements. And here they come. Alright. So, we got to get in. Hopefully not take too much of an archer barrage before we get in, but that was a highly successful second sally attempt there. Can't tell what's going on there. It looks like a few of the enemy got to our archers there, but they got mauled. And as you'll see me do a lot, when we're being attacked in situations like this where they have a lot of ranged units, a lot of archers, we will go to just offset to both sides of the main gate. We don't want to be getting shot and have javelins hit us in the back as we're trying to retreat. So the guys are basically told to go around the corner there. Get out of line of sight. We're going to suffer some losses on the retreat. It's kind of inevitable. But we have a pretty good death zone set up here. Now, I don't have enough infantry to really deal with this. So the 6th is sent, and it's time for some combat here. The enemies, looks like they're trying to rally on the right side. Get the 6th out of here. What is this? This looked like all infantry. This is not good, getting infantry at this stage of the battle. That means we're down to probably 1, maybe 2 waves at most more. And this infantry is not going to be able to hold out very well against... This is all tier 5 and tier 4 units still. I'm getting my ass beat by the Eleftherois with their fucking fast maces. Fuck you. Stubborn fucking Sturgian forces. They're swarming my 6th Corps here. We've got to get this square closer to the gate because they're really starting to swarm now. Now I can charge with archers here. I've got this 5th Corps. We can have these guys brought up, and I may charge with archers here, have them hold fire and charge, right? Because we can't have a huge breach. In a keep siege like this, if we're going to win, we basically have to fight a near perfect battle. Can't afford mistakes. At least not major mistakes. And this is turning into one. The enemy's fucking flooding our front gate. I don't have a big enough square, and it's melting away because it's fucking infantry. So we're getting kind of pushed to our flanks here. I'm going to join this corps over here because this is strong archers. And we're going to try to beat back this enemy wave here. They're flooding in. God damn, it's a lot of troops. The death spam has turned decidedly red. Not good. The enemy's kind of rampaging all over the place. I don't have any infantry. I just don't have the ability to block the gate unless I put archers here, and I really don't want to do that. I don't feel like I have enough archers. Let's try these archers on the other flank. For some reason, the enemy's trying to rally on that left flank. Left as we're looking out the gate. And we're simply going to move our archers away from wherever they're rallying, right? We want to put distance between ourselves and their archers. Not quite certain what they're doing. But whatever they're doing, we're going to try to counter it. They're still trickling up this side. I see them pouring up that ladder over there. I guess they can't be pouring up it if they're only trickling. And another press comes through at the gate here. Now, these archers could shoot arrows in these guys, but I don't have any shields to combat all these archers. I don't know where my infantry reinforcements are. I literally have 140 archers, and that's it. Sometimes the reinforcement system really does a doozy on you. And the siege is starting to get away because of it. I mean, how am I supposed to defend the gate with a bunch of guys with bows? And a lot of them are militia. I see them getting wailed on, too, right next to me. Alright, well, plan B. I've been considering this. This is a huge citadel. There's a lot of space in here, but it's not at the gate. It's further up the hill. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to move our forces, and we're going to move our guys back. This is not something that most people do in castle defense. But if this little last counterattack here, I say last, I'm not willing to try another counter charge. If we can close the gate on this charge, maybe we can try to hold the gate, but it doesn't look promising. I've just got low-level units here. I look up at the death spam, but militia archers are getting massacred left and right. Clan warrior. You know, we have some lower-level troops. The garrison had very low-level troops, right? It's just not going to be stacked with juicy troops, right? I'm losing lots of scrub troops. And the enemy has a huge press of all tier 4 and tier 5 units. So more and more this is looking like it's not going to work. Help my companion here. And these are costly losses, right? My units are now sort of trapped and enveloped, and they're low level. So the death spam has turned decidedly against us here. But I do have an ace up my sleeve. We are going to retreat. I'm presuming we're not annihilated here. I hope we have more reinforcements. I feel like we have more reinforcements. I've got a pretty good feel for how many troops we have at any given point. By the way, I never reference the scorecard. You're never going to see me pull that up mid-battle. I just think it... Okay, here a bunch of guys just poured in. So I've got 6 guys in the 6th Corps. That's my square. Those guys will be the defensive infantry. And I've got 2 different archer corps that are large. 68 and 63, which is perfect. If we're going to turn this around, even though this sucks, most of these guys are militia. If we're going to turn this around, we have to change tactics here. The gate is lost. Get up there. These guys are going the wrong way. You guys are like fucking dipshits on the highway killing people by going the wrong way. All right, look at this fork. I've seen this before, wandering this city. We can get some nasty crossfire here and defend with a square. If I can get these units positioned right, it might take some finesse. Trying to get them spread so they have a nice angle, and I want them on those stairs so they can shoot down on the enemy. Now we'll bring this square back here, and all these units positioned correctly will be able to rain in nasty crossfire on the enemy. If I can get it set up right. Let's see. That's pretty good right there. That's pretty good too. Both of those are going to work. We'll open fire here. They should have been firing the whole time. Even though they don't have line of sight. Now they will have line of sight once this square gets to us, right? They're going to be able to shoot the enemy on the sides and maybe even over the top because of how steep these lines are here. In fact, I see the crossbowmen starting to aim. I hear them starting to shoot. We'll move these archers back just a little bit more, and we'll see if this can be our city-saving tactic here. We probably need an 8-to-1 or a 10-to-1 KDR at this stage to win. No, they don't need to dismount. I fat finger it like everybody. All right, these guys are mostly shooting. The death spam just turned incredibly green. And I'm going to help my friends here. I wish I had more health, but that's the nature of it when you're in a fucking... This must be an hour-long siege. This has been a long siege. I'm going to try to get these guys just a little higher here. Look at that. If I can get them to this upper doorway here, I can actually see him. No, stop. I want these guys to stand there, hold your ground. The enemy's sort of infiltrating our archers here, but look at them getting zerged. Fortunately, there's a bunch of Britannian Thean chaps here at the front of this line. This division is by far the stronger of the two, this 4th division. The other division has a lot of militia. But that's real to Castle Siege too, right? The militia would typically fight together. A lot of enlisted people hated militia back then. They just kind of looked down on them. Yeah, I say enlisted. I'm speaking more towards modern times, like in the Civil War. All right, these guys have decent line of sight, but I'd like to get better line of sight. Man, the death spam has turned good, though. Now I'm going to try to work on the edges here. The enemy's sort of fixated on the square. Of course, if they charge past the square, you know what we do, right? We would charge the enemy with the square, charge the enemy with the archers, and they would be trapped, right? They would be in worse shape. This is a checkmate situation for the enemy. They don't have a whole lot of options here other than to charge and try to destroy the square. They could kind of charge the archers at the margin of the battle here. But it's not a good situation for the enemy. That said, right, they have a huge amount of troops, and it seems fucking never-ending. We're still on tier 4 units for the enemy. And we must have killed at least 2,000, maybe 3,000. I'm getting physically fatigued from this siege. Maybe I'm too old for Bannerlord. I'm probably twice the age of most of the guys watching this. Fortunately, my wife is amazing. I've got an enlightened wife who's fine with me playing video games as long as we do all the other husband and wife things, right? We just had an incredible 2.5-day paddle down a beautiful river. I had some R&R, and while I was out there watching a family of river otters, I got the idea to try this in this castle. I'm only partially kidding. I decided I was going to start to use more and more of the citadels in these castle defenses for this series. And look at how effective this is. This is becoming incredibly effective. Now, the enemy's stacking up an enormous amount of troops here, but the death spam is highly in our favor here. The square is pressed up against that wall there. It can't move, but the enemy can't really do a lot of damage to it either. Those guys are all just holding their shield up. These archers don't have great line of sight on this side, but over there they do. And those are the higher ranking archers, right? Those are the crossbow, those are the Battanian Fiend champs. I can see the arrows whistling in there. I like to watch them, right? If you see the guys shooting, that means they're positioned well. If they're not shooting, move them. This side over here, this right side, is definitely the more vulnerable of the two. My health is starting to become very concerning. A lot easier, though, when they don't even look at me. You guys just keep on looking the other way. Never mind this fucking laser lightning axe behind you that's mowing down everything in sight, cutting off heads. You guys just go ahead and attack that square, dipshits. Alright, well, I shouldn't have fucking said anything. Now they're fucking zerged and aggroed to me. It's chaos, but it's beautiful chaos. For those who want to be entertained, I mean, how are you not entertained, right? This is a fucking incredible, chaotic siege, right? There's fucking bodies stacked all over the place. It's chaos. There's militia attacking. Get these guys backed up. This is probably our last stand. If we are getting more reinforcements, it'll be a small one. We're trying to hold on to this city here with all we got. I probably got to kill another couple hundred guys here for us to win. It's alright, I like killing. The Jarl doesn't mind. The axe that is swung makes a bigger forearm for next time. With my Bannerlord experience, I must have one of the largest moused fingers on the West Coast. Never really talked about my location before in any episode. I live kind of near Seattle, Washington, for those who are curious. In the United States, of course, on the west side. I know there's a lot of folks who play Bannerlord that are from the UK and from other parts of Europe, and I think that's great. I think part of the reason it's more popular in medieval games is because you guys actually had medieval history. You know, the west coast of the United States, the Native Americans might have had medieval history, but certainly America has no medieval history. Alright, so I have a problem here, and this is one of the weaknesses of this strategy. I'm going to try to turn it into a strength. My divisions are now, the reinforcements are coming in on the other side, which is suboptimal. Our forces are divided, so how do out of my way? It's fucking beautiful chaos. So I'm now bringing these archer units down. I just I don't think it's tenable to leave all these reinforcements down here to have them fight by themselves. We're going to try to use this ramp, but the line of sight is not terrific. This is definitely a subpar situation. Those reinforcements coming in down there is really fucking us. And see, these archers shooting down, not only are they shooting with a poor angle, but they're hitting shields. The enemy's holding their shields up pretty well. I see our troops stuck in the middle there. I literally see orange shields amongst the blue. Obviously it contrasts very well, and I see them getting massacred. Those are reinforcements that popped up, and then the enemy zerged in behind them like hundreds of units, and they're basically dead. All those reinforcements are toast. We're not going to be able to fight our way to them. I might even get dropped before we get there. I might have to pull back one more time here. I've got a ton of archers. There's probably 30 battalion fiends right here. I think it makes sense to try it again. This was working good before. Even though all those reinforcements will be lost, I think it makes more sense than to try to fight on both sides there with bad archer angles. We just can't have a 3-to-1 KDR, right? If we get 3 kills for every one of our guys is killed, we lose. We need a 6, 7, 8 KDR. God, it's messy. There's just a fucking pile of bodies. I actually feel like I walk slower right through here. I wonder, I don't know if the game has that feature. If you walk over more corpses, you like can't move. But certainly that would be the situation here. I mean, it would be the other way around. You'd be slipping. There'd be so much fucking blood. It'd be hard to stand up in this situation. It would benefit us because they wouldn't be able to reach these archers. They'd be slipping and sliding, trying to get to our archers. It's time to fucking fly in here and try to win this fucking siege. Fuck it. Health be damned. It's a video game. I would never do this in real life. Well, maybe I would. Who knows? God, they're throwing javelins now. Fuck, that's bad. Fucking assholes. The square just broke. It finally broke. I think we're out of troops. This is it. This is our last stand here. And I don't have enough health to fight like Rambo. I don't even know how I'm standing, actually. There's not even any red in my health bar. Oh well, we fight on. We got Battanian Fiends up here. Look at that guy. Had 5 fucking javelins in him. Wow, and down I go. This siege is lost, I'm afraid. For those hoping we would win this, at this stage it's obvious we're gonna lose. There's just a huge zerg. It's an ocean of fucking blue units. I'm getting smashed and cut apart. I could try and pull some units back here, but there's no reinforcements coming. I'm getting hit with javelins. Fucking assholes. I'm gonna take out a couple last guys. 106 damage, that guy didn't die. Fuck you, assholes. I charge. Well, it was a valiant siege attempt, and we are gonna lose some of these, right? For those surprised, our channel is not all fantasy and just easy mode. You know, we are taking on the hardest challenges across Calradia. As far as I know, these are the largest siege defenses on YouTube. I've never heard or seen anything like this. Of course, our late game campaign, we've had a couple mods that make the enemy lords tougher and higher level. But ultimately, we've lost this castle defense, but no shame in that, right? We killed 5,300 troops in this siege defense. We lost our 1,200, 1,300. But no shame in that, and to be honest, this is a shit castle to defend. The person who requested this was one of the people just making a comment, and by the way, if you're interested in seeing me defend a certain castle, all you gotta do is speak up. He wanted to see me defend Marunath. Well, there you go, that's the best I can do. Even though Zuvan killed fucking 3/4 of a legion himself, ultimately, the enemy is successful here with a huge fucking Zerg of Sturgian infantry. Now, maybe we could have held out longer if I didn't make one of those sally attempts, but I also don't want to bore you guys to death on this Epic Siege series. Even at the risk of success sometimes, we are going to take exceptional risk. We're going to try some things. We're going to try some advanced tactics. Hopefully you learned a few things from this episode. Hopefully you're entertained. I have a lot of fun fighting these. I don't know how many episodes I'll make in this series. It might be like 30 episodes. If you guys keep watching them and you guys keep requesting them, I'll keep fighting it out. Siege is becoming something that I'm not only adept at, but I really enjoy. It's not perfect, but it's a pretty fucking fantastically entertaining battle. All right, well, subscribe if you want to see more of these battles, friends. Please comment and like and all that good stuff. And without further ado, I will see you guys next time.